Want to grow your business and take it to the next level? Well, here we all are, and we're going to show you how through hard work, perseverance, and a little help and know-how, you can take things to the next level and push the success of your business even further. Let's get going.
Welcome everyone to the next episode of Practiceology podcast, the science of helping or getting allied health professionals to run successful businesses that work without them. We've got Trish Wisbey-Roth joining us today on this session. Trish, thanks for being part of the program.
Always a pleasure, Paul.
I'm going to do the intro. Trish is a Sydney-based specialist sports physio. She's worked in international teams in hockey, gymnastics, fencing and cycling. She's been involved in the Australian women's cycling team, Olympics, World Championships, Commonwealth Games. If there's a sporting event, she has been there and done it. At the same time, she commenced her own business in her mid-20s and has recreated her practice 3 times amongst living and working in Switzerland, teaching in Europe and having 3 children. She's a lecturer for the APA, travels Australia and the world doing exceptional education. And to reach wider audiences with her education, she's just started an online education platform called the Physio Accelerator, which she's going to talk to us about today. And she was one of the featured speakers on our World Physio Business Success Summit, which you can find at summit.physio. Trish, you're up for the 7-minute format?
I'm up for it.
You're a superstar. You're a good organizer. You ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's kick it off. Trish, who was your ideal client for the accelerator?
Practice owners that really would like to provide a consistent manual therapy, differential diagnosis and exercise onboarding program for their staff that will provide positive outcomes and also boost the confidence of their staff.
That's a good program. Question 2. So what problem do you solve for them with the accelerator? What's the big problem they've got?
I think practice owners get exhausted by having to do one-on-one training and keep it consistent. And very often what they'll do is promise but not deliver, or then give it on to more junior staff, and then the quality is very variable. So we've created online and bespoke Q&A, face-to-face things at times if needed, so that it can be used in the practice in downtime, but while the practice owner could be perhaps, I don't know, going for a swim or playing golf.
The time poor owners, aren't they? So you've been solving that problem. Question 3, with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left. What are the typical symptoms people experience when they don't have a real good education program in their businesses? What happens?
I think you get a real variety in skills and in outcomes. And as a practice owner, you really want to feel confident that any type of patient can see most of your staff and get a really good response. And if not, they get referred on to another one. And so our onboarding program gives a really good, I would say, a basic roadmap for the conditions that are seen in private practice: lumbopelvic, hip, thoracic, cervical, and some really key differential diagnosis, exercise, manual therapy. So then your staff can then follow their passion, but they all have this really solid grounding.
All right, beautiful. Question 4, what are the common mistakes people make when trying to solve their poor onboarding or lack of education problem? What do they do wrong?
I think they offer a lot and they're enthusiastic at the beginning, but usually you're doing all of this onboarding and training when your staff have downtime, which is very often when you're on your free time. And it can destroy your energy. And so therefore you either don't do it or you throw them a research article. So it becomes very unstructured in a way, and so there's lots of holes, and I can totally understand that, and that's why really we spent the last 4 years putting this Physio Accelerator program together.
And it's a massive issue for recruitment, isn't it? Because if I've got the team member on board and they want education, I promise all this stuff and I don't deliver it, they're not going to stay.
Absolutely. And one of the things we found for attracting staff is when at the interview, we actually send them a letter afterwards and say, in our training package, it's valued at this amount for the training. Here are some links to the lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and they actually can go in and see that it's all on there, and they get very excited about the professional look of it.
You're the preferred employer. I love it. Question 5, with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left. So what's one valuable free action, Trish, that our audience can implement to help them with their education onboarding program? What can they do themselves?
Well, we have a live Q&A that goes on Facebook once a month, and that was one of the questions. And I think for either a physio watching this or a practice owner, to be able to sit back and say what is working for you in onboarding and continuing education in your practice and what isn't working. And out of those things that aren't working, what things can you change and what things can't you change? And from those things that aren't working and that you can change, putting in a couple of points of what can we change over the next month to work on that one problem and problem solve it that way.
My brain straight went to structure your education, set a time rather than it being off the cuff. That's what can you do for free? Question 6, with 2 minutes left, Trish. What's one valuable free resource our listeners and viewers can go to that helps them with their onboarding? What have you got to give us a taste of?
Probably with my Q&As and over podcasts and my courses, a question I get asked over and over by practice owners and also physios is, I'm not sure how I should structure my sessions from the initial assessment to the second, the third, the sixth, the eighth. How do I get people to the 8th session if that's how many they need? So I actually spent a lot of time and created a white paper of these are key things to do in your first, second, third, fourth, fifth sessions so that you can get to that end point. And so that's a PDF that you can download free. And we've put a special link for you, Paul, and it's called the physioaccelerator.com/Paul. And you can download that free of charge.
So the physioaccelerator.com/Paul. So our final question with 20 seconds left. What's the one question I should have asked you, Trish, that would give great value to our audience today?
I think, are you still enjoying your job? Even as a practice owner, as a physio, if you're not enjoying your job, you've got to change something. It doesn't mean change your career, but what are your pain points? And again, with those pain points, what out of it can you change and what can't you change? Because, we do our job for too long and we give too much for us actually not to be enjoying it. And it's taken me a long while to work that one out.
You are a superstar, Trish. Thanks for being part of the Practiceology podcast.
You're more than welcome, Paul.
To check out other episodes or to find more about Practiceology, go to mypracticeology.com and make sure to register for our monthly demonstration.